Welcome to another video. My name is Electric Ben and this is the Kia EV3. Newly crowned World Car of the Year 2025. It's the UK Car of the Year 2025. And I'm here today to find out, does it deserve these two accolades? Keep watching because I'm really intrigued by this one. Welcome to the exterior of the Kia EV3. Probably a great place to start is charging. So this vehicle can accept up to 11 kilowatts AC and up to 135 kilowatts DC. It also has bi-directional charging, vehicle to load, so it can essentially charge other things from this vehicle's battery, which I think is pretty awesome. Speaking of the battery pack, this is the GT line version that we have here today. So this has an 81.4 kilowatt hour battery pack. It's a front wheel drive vehicle, so the front motor can deliver up to 201 brake horsepower. Overall range of the Kia EV3, the best number that you can expect is up to 375 miles, which is pretty awesome considering what people will use this vehicle for every single day. And from a performance perspective, because this is the long range vehicle, 0 to 62 miles an hour takes around 7.7 seconds, the standard range 7.5 seconds. In terms of the overall look of this vehicle, it has a pretty small front trunk. I love, and I mean I love, the light signature. It's got these really small lights inside it, almost like they're firing out of the front of the vehicle. I absolutely love it. It gives it so much character. The two-tone paint on this particular version is absolutely awesome as well. Really helps to break up the lines on this particular car. And the 19-inch wheels look absolutely awesome. Fill out the arches incredibly well. And actually, it's a fairly unique design. Kia are going for this kind of square inside a circle design. Big fan of it. I really like it. One thing that's massively frustrating is the key for the Kia EV3. It feels really premium. I quite like it. It feels quite like a Pebble, but actually in lower light, not knowing where these buttons are, and it can get very, very fiddly. Not really a big fan of that. But one thing I do really like is the fact that these wing mirrors fold in when you lock the car. Sounds like such a bizarre thing to mention in 2025, but you know, having that visual representation that the car is actually locked makes a big difference. If we make our way towards the driver's door, what will become very apparent is this feels very flimsy. It's not going to come off, of course it's not, but it just feels like it's, yeah, I'd like it to feel a bit more sturdy. This I really like. I like the clean lines on this car. The handle for the rear door is actually hidden behind the rear window. I actually really like that. It's a really nice place for it to be, and it actually makes the car feel and look very subtle and not very busy at all in terms of design. I quite like that all hidden away. Now let's take a look at the boot. It doesn't look like a particularly big boot at first glance, but actually Kia have got a little bit of a hidden gem up their sleeve here. So let's just take this out. So this can be taken out. And just like that, you've got 2 levels of this boot. Now, if you wanted to keep it as it was, you've got lots of underfloor storage, but actually that works really well. Here's the thing though, if it's snowing, if it's raining, make sure you capture this, because actually this can be a little bit fiddly to get back in. But all in all, quite a generous boot size. Looking at the roofline, I mean, I am under 6 foot, and it just puts things into perspective just how low and how compact this vehicle actually is out on the road. This rear boot spoiler, quite quirky. I think without it, it would look like something was missing. But let's just take a look at the lights really quickly. If you remember kind of first generation Fiat Punto, Volvo estates in the 90s, they had the elongated rear lights at the back. This is kind of what this reminds me of. It's not a tall vehicle by any stretch, but actually it makes it look like it's much taller than it is. This vehicle doesn't come with a light bar. Actually, one of the very few vehicles these days I feel that doesn't. However, what I like is that as soon as the light moves across, it's kind of joined together by the rear brake light at the top. You've got that really prominent Kia script, very, very prominent at the back there. Just kind of announces itself a little bit more. I just love how this vehicle looks from the rear. The interior of this car is a mixed bag, but overall very, very positive. It's starting to become a bit more of a thing now with this hexagonal steering wheel. I do quite like it. It's a really nice shape, and actually inside the steering wheel I can see all of the instruments in front of me, which is super helpful. I also love the color of this interior actually. Not only are these seats awesome for especially covering longer distances, the steering wheel kind of integrates itself into the cabin really well. You don't just get this one colored steering wheel. It looks really, really premium. One thing I'm a big fan of here is energy recuperation on these paddles. I do like that. Very, very intuitive. The steering wheel itself for me is a little bit busy. I think there's a little bit too much going on, but I'm sure that's probably something you could get used to. In other models, especially within the Kia and Hyundai family, if you like, other vehicles in the Hyundai range specifically have gear selector kind of here or down here. Kia have actually made a point of having it on the steering column, which I think is a much better place for it. And I think it really helps with slower speed, town driving, maneuvers, that type of thing. If we look at the screen very quickly, when you're driving, this element of the screen here is actually out of shot a little bit. I can't actually see what's going on, so I am actually peering around, which isn't ideal. And I think the final thing is you get lots of detail on this central screen. Looks absolutely brilliant. And this is the kind of world we're living in right now. This actually reminds me of first generation Porsche Taycan, not in a great way. I think this could really benefit from just some colors, because actually to differentiate between each logo, you have to actually really read and focus on this screen to find the option that you're looking for. Something like the vehicle could be in yellow, the EV menu could be in green, navigation could be in blue, etc. Just that really quick, intuitive kind of, I guess, experience would make driving this car a little bit easier, especially on the go. But let's look at some positives. I didn't enjoy this to start off with, but this is actually a little table. I was like, what is the point in this? But actually, the more I've driven this car, the more I really like it. And if you're static and you're charging, actually, this will become a really useful space. Because this is built off the EGMP bespoke EV architecture, this platform allows for lots of interior space. You'll notice there's no compartment here to put things. It's sort of more down there. Not a massive deal, I guess. Wireless charging, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, lots of USB-Cs dotted around the cabin. I love these materials as well. Like, there's lots of different colors and things to keep you interested. Really like that. Some physical buttons as well, can't go wrong. And actually, in the back of these seats, you have USB-C chargers built into the seat. I mean, that is pretty epic. I do like that. Overall, this cabin is really special. There are some things that I don't enjoy, but actually overall, it's a really smart place. Now, that EGMP platform that I just mentioned there, the fact that it gives you so much space actually translates into the rear as well. This is not a long or a particularly tall car, but you've got loads of space inside this car. Long distances, rear passengers are going to be absolutely fine in this, and I'm super surprised about just how much room you get inside this cabin. So what is this car like to drive? Well, first of all, let's just look at what's around us. The visibility to start off with is pretty fantastic, actually. Quite thin pillars here, which means I've got really good all-round visibility. If you're driving with, say, friends or family, that type of thing, safety is such a big thing for me. And actually not having to maneuver my head around some really thick pillars makes a big difference at things like T-junctions and roundabouts. The hexagonal steering wheel, it's starting to become a bit of a pattern. I'm starting to drive more cars with that, and it's no bad thing. I kind of thought I would really start to grow to not like the shape, but it works really, really well. The visibility that I've got for the digital driver display, absolutely phenomenal. This can be quite busy in front of me. There are lots of buttons on the steering wheel, and actually half the time I'm trying to find what button I need to adjust or change the driver display in front of me. I'm sure that'll get easier over time, but actually, if you're coming from an internal combustion car and you're looking to go electric, of course, then you want as least amount of things to worry about as possible. And I found myself today looking down at the steering wheel quite a lot. Once you get to know where things are, I'm sure it'll be easy, but yeah, it's just a mild concern. The driver display itself, well, it's been telling me today that I've been getting just over 4 miles per kilowatt hour, which is brilliant efficiency. From a Kia perspective though, and I've not been hooning this car, it's actually probably not great from a Kia perspective. I know that lots of owners have been getting sort of upwards of 4, 5, late 5s maybe. So just over 4 miles per kilowatt hour, mildly disappointing, but let's not forget we're driving a car that is shaped in a very kind of boxy style. What else can I say about this experience? Well, you've got the paddles on the actual steering column here, which allows you to basically change your energy recuperation. I like to drive everywhere on one pedal. The thing with this is that although it brings brilliant interaction, and I love the fact that you can play about with it and change it, and it makes you feel like you're part of the whole driving experience, when I want to change through my drive modes, that's when things get a little bit more laborious is probably the word. And look, this is a real first world problem that I'm explaining to you right now. My drive mode button is actually on the bottom of the steering wheel. It's not the ideal place for it to be because I have to look, I have to find it with my eyes. I have to look for it, which means I'm taking my eyes off the road essentially. Other than that, inside the car, what else can I say? The actual menu screen itself is fantastic. Graphics look amazing. It's really quick, really intuitive, and actually it's very quick to react to inputs. Problem here being though is that actually I have to reach quite far to actually do certain things. And I've got a voice control button on my steering wheel, yes, but if it doesn't pick up what I'm saying, I have to reach across, and that's not ideal. But all in all, how does it feel to drive? Feels really planted. Seats brilliant. Driving position absolutely spot on, and I can certainly see why lots of people are flocking to the EV3. One final thing, yes, you're going to be hearing lots of bongs and noises when you're driving. I wish I could dial back some of those or at least turn some of them off. But the Kia logo on the steering wheel is actually just to the right hand side, and if you like things dead center, that might be a tiny bit of an issue. Just saying. Overall, an amazing experience and a really premium feeling cabin here. Nice work here. So right at the beginning of this video, I asked, is this vehicle worthy of these two huge accolades? In summary, yes. It's a very boxy shape. There's lots of straight lines. There are some things that massively frustrate me, but actually in terms of what this vehicle can offer, in terms of its demographic, who would be using this vehicle, I just think it's a really bold statement from Kia. I love the fact that it follows the same kind of design language that other vehicles in the Kia range follow, especially in the EV range. And actually, I think I can forgive its downfalls. It drives incredibly well. The layout of the cabin feels really premium. And actually, given the price point as well, I'm a really big fan of this car. A massive thank you to Kia Lookers in Newcastle for allowing us to take this vehicle for the day. It's been an absolutely amazing experience. And if you've enjoyed this video, or if you've got any questions, comments, anything like that, drop them in the comments section below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.